And finally, I'd like to talk about unions and right to work. Again, first thing I'll do is I want to give props to the anti-labor people because they come up with great names for stuff. And when you look at the title, unions and right to work really sounds like something that we ought to be involved in. It sounds positive. But at the end of the day, right to work is just the name for a policy designed to take away rights from working people. So here's how it works. Under the Railway Labor Act, a person does not have to join the union but has to pay a fee because they enjoy all the benefits and representation of working under the union agreement. Under right to work laws, people don't have to pay the fee. And essentially, they become freeloaders by leeching off dues paying members and not by paying their fair share. So this sounds like, hey, I don't have to pay the fee and I can get all the same stuff that everybody else gets. Where do I sign up? Yeah, that doesn't sound like a bad idea, does it? Well, the right to work people are trying to make you think that it doesn't sound like a bad idea, but at the end of the day, it results in less funds available to enforce your agreements, to represent your workers, to negotiate better wages, benefits, and working conditions. Essentially, all the things that we've just heard about in this training, we might not have the money to do. We probably wouldn't have the money to do. So that means when they're talking about getting rid of your crossing regulations, which would eliminate jobs, we might not have the money to be down there at that listening session to set the record straight. We might not have enough money to be able to prepare that case. So when the guy gets fired for leaving a jumper on, and that wasn't the whole story, we're not going to have the money to be able to present his case to him. We're not going to be able to go in and write comments and effectively push back on a scenario like at Path, where they wanted to put guys within 4 feet of the track that surely would have resulted in some people being struck by trains at 55 miles an hour and killed. That's the real result of what happens when you don't have the funds available to properly represent your members. Unions are a non-for-profit. We're not in the business of putting money in the bank so that we can leave it to our grandkids or anything like that. We charge enough money to effectively represent our members, and that's what we do. That's all we do. Our sole function is to make life better for the members that we represent. There's nothing else that's more important than that. That's what we do. Backers of right to work claim that these laws protect you from being forced to join a union, but the reality is, under federal law, under the Railway Labor Act, it's illegal to force somebody to join a union. But again, the real purpose of right to work laws is to tilt the balance towards, in our case, railroads, and further rig the system at the expense of working families, which is us. So workers in right to work states can be fired for any reason, have lower wages, fewer benefits, more workplace injuries, and a 49% higher chance of dying on the job. That one's really compelling. That means that you're going to get hurt more if you're in a right to work state, and you have about a 50% chance, or pretty close to it, higher chance of dying on the job. That's because the unions aren't present to go to OSHA, to go to the FRA, to represent our workers, and to say that what they're doing is dangerous and that it's bad. So at the end of the day, right to work is bad for the union industry. It's bad for us.